When the Philistines looked and saw David, he disdained him. Am I a dog that you should come to me with sticks? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. Then David said to the Philistine, You come to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defiled. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand. It is Friday, the 13th day of October, 2023. Clive Walsh here, inviting you to join me for the reading of our devotional thought for today, and it's coming from the devotional book Truth for Life by pastor and author Alistair Begg. Today's devotional thought is entitled, There is No Other. And the verses today, 1 Samuel chapter 17, verses 42 and 43, as well as verses 45 and 46. And it reads, When the Philistines looked and saw David, he disdained him. Am I a dog that you should come to me with sticks? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. Then David said to the Philistine, You come to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defiled. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand. That's 1 Samuel chapter 17, verses 42 and 43, as well as verses 45 and 46. And Pastor Alistair Begg writes, Taking trash to your opponents is a practice dating back to long before professional sports. When Goliath, for instance, was insulted by a mere boy being sent to fight him, he began to talk smack, and he cursed David by his gods. Goliath cursing is significant. Through it, the giant unwittingly acknowledged that what was about to take place was far more significant than a conflict between two people or two armies or two nations. By invoking his God, he demonstrated that the battle was ultimately between the so-called gods of the Philistines and the living God, the God of Israel. A moment's reflection would have reminded all the Israelites that the gods of the Philistines were not an impressive group. Like all false gods, they had to be carried around and couldn't act on their own. Previously, the Philistine had had to set up their god Dagon after he had toppled down, and eventually his head had even fallen clean off in 1 Samuel chapter 5, verses 3 and 4. It makes sense then that Goliath's insult or mention of his god didn't scare David. The shepherd boy recognized that the giant was testifying largely and came at him with many great weapons. But he also knew that the giant was right about one thing. It was a much bigger event than a one-on-one combat, and David knew that the living God whom he served could save him and Israel. David understood that Goliath's defeat was not about making a name for himself. It would be so that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verses 46. The victory was to be a testimony to the assembled crowd on both sides of the valley that God was alive and powerful to save. The battle today is likewise ultimately between the living God and the non-gods of our age. Philippians 6, verse 12. Press your friends kindly and ask how their God, gods of ambition, politics, education, and so on, are working for them. Do they have peace? Do they have lasting confidence? Do they have contentment? Do they have joy? Thankfully, we have something that gives us all of these and more. We have the God who doesn't topple, who needs nothing from us. We know the living God who has been faithful for 1,000 generations and who tells us, I have made and I will bear, I will carry and save you. Isaiah chapter 46, verse 4. Let the world around you see and hear who it is that you serve today. And truly, we need to take confidence and boldness to stand up to this world and to the giants of this world and let them know who it is that we serve, that we come to them in the name of the Lord of hosts. May God empower us to live that type of life today, and we trust Him to do it by His Spirit in us and through us. In Jesus' name. And that concludes our devotional thought for this 13th day of October, 2023, entitled, There is No Other. And truly may the Lord deliver us and show the world around us that there is no other but Him. And for those of you reading through the Scriptures, your assignment today is 1 Samuel chapter 1, 2, and 3, as well as the book of Ephesians, chapter 3. And may the Lord richly bless you. My name is Clive Walsh.